The boy has grown up. John and Rose Collins were a happy married couple living in their own beautiful suburban home in the quiet town of Selbyville in Delaware. It had been almost 8 years since they bought the house after their marriage. And a couple years later, they had their first child, Liam. They were a small, happy family. John ran a small business. Rose was a homemaker, and their son Liam was growing up, now 6 years old, soon to be 7. "Be careful, Liam. If it starts raining, come back inside right away." "Okay, Mom." It was a windy day, the skies were cloudy, and the weather was cool. It was a perfect day to fly a kite. "Come on, boy, we're gonna get this kite up real high." Liam was trying to fly his kite as his dog Tom chased after it. As a heavy gust of wind passed through the backyard, the kite flew up. "Tom, it's working!" But it was soon that it fell, tangling itself on the Cromwell's Hollywood tree next door. "Oh no, Tom, now what?" Liam ran after his dog, who quickly jumped over the fence. He peeked to the other side. It seemed quiet, no one was out here. He climbed over and landed straight in the Cromwell's garden. Trying not to step over the lady's plants, Liam hopped over to the tree, but it seemed Tom had made quite the mess already. "Shh! Come on, Tom, let's go." The minute Rose saw Liam sneak inside through the back door, she knew he had done something. "Liam?" She walked over to him, shocked to see his condition, stained in mud and dirt. "What have you done? Did you go into Mrs. Cromwell's garden?" "Sorry, Mom." "Don't tell me sorry, young man. You will say sorry to Mrs. Cromwell. Do you know how much she takes care of her garden? And this is what you do." Rose cleaned up her son and took him next door. Mrs. Cromwell opened up, a bit surprised to have visitors. "Hello, Mrs. Cromwell. Liam was playing with his kite and it got stuck in your tree. He might have ruined some of your plants while he was getting it." "My garden?" Mrs. Cromwell widened her eyes, rushing to her yard. There was dirt scattered around, and quite a few of her begonias were stepped on. But Mrs. Cromwell turned around and smiled. "It's absolutely fine." "Say sorry to Mrs. Cromwell, Liam." "Sorry, Mrs. Cromwell." "No need to be sorry. Kids will be kids. If your kite gets stuck again, come and get it, okay? There's no problem. I'm sure Liam won't be ruining your garden again." She had such a big heart. If it were someone else, they would have been really angry, Liam. "Mom, does she live alone?" "No, she lives with her son. He's a very good boy, not like you. He always listens to his mother." Ellen Cromwell was an elderly woman in her 50s. She had been living here for many years now, even before the Collins moved in next door. She was a single woman, but she had a son who lived with her. The man was about 30 years old, but he was different. He rarely talked or left the house, and from what it seemed, suffered from a mental condition, hence having to stay in the care of his mother. Rose and John had found the woman a bit strange, but in all sense, she had always been kind with them and to everyone else who lived around here. "Come on, kids, let's all gather around for a picture." For Liam's 7th birthday, Rose and John hosted a small party for him and invited the kids on the block. They were all having a fun time playing while Rose was getting the cake ready. But suddenly, she heard a voice by the gate. Both John and Rose turned to see it was Mrs. Cromwell, and in her hand, a gift. "Hello, Mrs. Cromwell. It's so nice to see you. I hope you didn't mind me coming." No, of course not. That day, my son, Sebastian, he saw Liam. This gift is actually from him. He made it himself." "Oh, that is so nice of Sebastian. Liam, can you come here, please?" Liam rushed to his mother and suddenly stopped to stare at the woman. "This is a gift from a friend, Liam." Liam was a bit hesitant to take it, but the woman placed the box in his hands. "Take it now, it's yours." Liam quickly grabbed the box and hurried off to play. "Mrs. Cromwell, why don't you join us for dinner?" "No, that will be all right. I think I'll be heading home." "Did you invite her?" "No, but we probably should have. She's been so nice." That night, when the parents sat around their son opening all his presents, Liam opened up Mrs. Cromwell's gift and took out a carved wooden statue that looked like him. Wow, her son made this himself? He might have a condition, but he is talented. Isn't this a little creepy? How did he make this? It looks exactly like Liam. "She got me a doll? I'm not a girl. I'm not gonna play with this doll." "You know what, Liam? This is a good lesson for you. You have to play with this. And every time you make mischief, you'll get another doll. For your birthday, for Christmas, Thanksgiving." "That's not a bad idea. We should really thank Mrs. Cromwell." "No!" Liam didn't like the statue at all. That night, he threw it under his bed and played with all the other toys he got for his birthday, until he fell asleep. The next morning, he had totally forgotten about it, until he saw it placed nicely on his table. How did it get there? Not thinking too much of it, Liam put it under his bed again and went on with his day. It was late in the evening, when Liam was getting his homework done, that his mother walked in looking at him. "Liam, did you put that statue in the living room?" "No, Mom, it's under my bed." "Are you sure? I thought you didn't like it." Liam ran to his room and checked under his bed, but he suddenly froze seeing it gone. He then ran to the living room, a bit shocked to see it sitting on the shelf. How did it get there now? On the following Friday night, John and Rose were invited to a date with some friends and hired a babysitter for Liam. "We'll be back soon, Liam. Be a good boy, okay?" "Mom, I don't need a babysitter." "All right, Liam, as soon as you're 12. There's still 5 years to go. Take care, Jenna." "Bye, Mrs. Collins." The parents left Liam with the young woman. But it was just about an hour later that they received a call from her. "Hello, Jenna, is everything all right?" "Mrs. Collins, you have to return right now. I can't stay any longer. Liam has been behaving quite inappropriately." "What do you mean?" "After you left, Liam and I were playing a puzzle when he told me he had to go to the bathroom. But then he turned off all the lights and tried to touch me all over." "What? Okay, we'll be there soon." The parents hurried home, bewildered by what they heard. Liam was sitting on the sofa, while Jenna was pacing by the door. "Liam, what happened?" "Mom, it wasn't me. It was the statue." "He's lying, Mrs. Collins. I have to leave." "Wait, Jenna." Rose took out an extra 20 and handed it to the girl as she went out. "Please don't tell anyone about this. He's a young boy. He doesn't know any better." "Liam, what has gotten into you? Where do you get all these ideas?" "Rose, maybe he was just trying to scare her, or maybe it wasn't anything like that at all. Maybe she made up the story because she had the chance to extort us." "No, Dad, I wasn't trying to scare her. I went to the bathroom and someone locked me in, and then the lights went out." "That's enough, Liam. Now go to your room." Rose and John couldn't make sense of what happened, but they just wanted to put it aside. Rose, however, did call Jenna a last time that night. "Did you find Liam locked in the bathroom?" "Yes, he touched me, and then I pushed him away. By the time I found the light switch again, he wasn't in the room anymore. He must have ran into the bathroom." "But was it locked from outside?" "Yes, it was." After that day, Rose took the statue and left it in the broom closet. Strangely, Liam didn't cause any trouble after that. In fact, he was quite well behaved. The parents didn't know what to believe. Or had Liam felt bad about doing something like that? He was only 7. How could he have done something like that? It was a couple days later, however, that Rose discovered something that had her in doubt. She had always had a hobby of painting. She made a gallery in her house, where she kept all her work. But it was that morning that she opened the gallery to find all her paintings. They had all been turned to unholy images, with paint deep red. The painting of an angel now turned to a demon. The painting of a woman now stained in red from her thighs. Every painting had been grotesquely defiled. "Liam, did you do this?" "No, Mom, I didn't do it." "Then who could have done this if not you? How could you do something so wicked? What were you thinking?" "Mom, I swear, it wasn't me, it was the statue." This time, Rose became enraged when Liam tried to blame it on the statue. She went to the closet and took it out. "This is going in the trash. Then what will you blame, Liam? What will you blame for the things you have been doing?" When John returned home that night, Rose showed him everything Liam had done. "I just can't understand. What has gotten into him?" "Something's not right, Rose. Something's not right." That night, the parents saw Liam off as he went to bed. They tried to get some rest. But sometime near midnight, Tom started to bark continuously. Why is that dog barking? The parents put it off until they heard a loud cry from the dog sometime later and hurried out to see what happened. When they reached downstairs, they found the back door opened, and outside was Liam. In his hands, a stained knife, and on the ground, Tom lay lifeless in a horrible condition. "Liam, what have you done?" "No, Dad. Mom, it wasn't me. It wasn't me." Liam cried profusely. "I heard Tom barking, so I came out to see him. The door was already opened, and I found him like this. I found the knife here." "Liam, please, don't lie like this. Why have you been doing all this?" As Rose scolded Liam, John stopped her. "Rose, calm down. Not now. We have to settle this quickly. We can't let anyone know. If this gets out, those animal rights activists aren't going to leave us alone. We have to bury the dog as soon as possible." The parents sent Liam inside, after which they dug a small grave for the dog and buried him. When they came inside, they found Liam still weeping by his window, looking out to Tom's grave. "Do you think it was really him? He used to love that dog. It was his best friend. I don't know. Is he losing his mind?" "My boy was absolutely fine. How could he just go insane?" "Rose, I grew up in this neighborhood. I saw Mrs. Cromwell's son growing up. He was normal, just like all the other kids. Something similar happened with him, and then he lost his mind." "What? Why didn't you tell me this before?" Breaking news. A couple from Selbyville was found lifeless in their home this dawn, their bodies in a horrible condition. Police are now investigating the incident. There have been no break-ins, and the only suspect remains to be the couple's 7-year-old son, who seems to have been diagnosed with a psychological disorder. He continues to claim a statue was responsible for the heinous act. However, there was no statue found in the house or on the property. Early that dawn, police cars, ambulances, and other safety vehicles surrounded the Collins home. Mrs. Cromwell watched as the paramedics took out the remains of Rose and John, and young Liam cried to the police as they placed him in the van. "I thought he was the one, but he's not. We have to find the one." Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.